Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. I'm not gay, and the reason why I'm still making videos even though they're changing my voice is because it's the right thing to do, it's the smart thing to do, and it has to do with more repetition. And for those of you who have been paying attention to my videos for a long time, you know that I've proven definitively that I've won with no way back, right? There's no way for them to win now. And even if I do not announce divine verdicts on record or off record, every time they move against me and do something despicable, their eternal punishment increases, and the eternal punishment for everyone outside the divine order. So yesterday, they tried to turn my older brother against me, right? They listened to these guys about, what to do to some degree. My family kind of does what they say to some degree. And my father is very old now. Okay, he's retired, he's kind of worn out, basically disabled, what have you. So it's mostly my brother and my mother who basically at times harass me, right? That's a very common tactic the state is using. They pretend to be helping me for a while, then they harass me or cause a loud sound to happen. So we'll be discussing things in a certain way, and then they'll cause a loud noise to happen after they fume the area to make sure that it causes cognitive impairment. And it has something to do with the way a lot of Jews look, a lot of people who are mildly autistic look, a lot of English people, a lot of certain types of people. They have a certain way about them that's like a mind control look. It's disoriented, it's thrown off. You can tell that they have some kind of biological dysfunction. And this is part of why so many people are sabotaged, because those people want to make everyone seem like thrown off a bit and to make themselves seem like the most sharp. And then some are more sharp than others, and they seem more normal. And that has to do with the contrast game they're playing, what have you. So yesterday there was an extreme amount of sexual harassment, and I call on God to punish all who had anything to do with it, and their offspring, and their family souls, what have you. Now why? Because I have to do God justice, and that means doing the Father justice first, then the Son, then the righteous, then everyone else according to what makes sense. So when somebody interferes with God's work and persecutes me, the Son of God, especially in a sexual way, trying to get me to settle, trying to get me to be gay, okay, there has to be severe consequences. So let's look at the word mentor really quickly to understand this. Why are they doing this? Why did they, cause women to shun me, yet allow me to date certain females they planted in my life? Just now they caused me to stumble on my words, what have you. Anyway, why did they do that? Because they wanted to mentor me. Write that down. They wanted to mentor me. Now the word mentor is a play on words for men rot. Like the word friend is a play on words for fry end, and hello and hell-o. And the word quote unquote help is a play on words for hell and the next letter P, because they want to take advantage of this situation sexually. That's the word food, fo-do, grub, g-rub, feed, fee-d, and so on and so forth. A meal is a play on words for melee. And it's like the word melee, and it has to do with them using the crowd, right? Crowd-oriented violence, mobbing, workplace bullying, gang stalking, group stalking, government stalking, government harassment, protests and political groups. And how do they get all these people together? Because they're in pre-existing groups to a large degree. They get people together, and then other people kind of show up and say, hey, that's cool. And in those pre-existing groups and their networks, they harass people. And there's networks of police officers, military, what have you. And I have 23 witnesses on record to the psychological operation against me, and there's countless other people who have testified to the existence of gang stalking. And these days, it's basically conceded that groups come together with corporations and governments and gang stalk people. It's very much conceded. There's so many reasons I'm right. Look at the Generation Z uprising, they call it. Okay, look at what's going on, how they're responding to these females in these Muslim nations when they're challenging the social norms there and the dress code and on and on. See exactly how they respond. It's a similar response here in America and in Mexico and in other places. Okay, governments harass people. And in America, where they have tons of money for black ops, and they have a black budget that's aimed mostly at black people, okay, it's no exception, nowhere near close. And of all black people, I'm by far their number one target. I'm the top martial artist ever, a brain surgeon's son. When you're talking about rich black people, they're already in their pocket. You're talking about famous black people, they're already in their pocket. So who's not in their pocket? Me. And I'm the top martial artist ever, and I've proven I'm the son of God. They have no viable counter-argument. So they wanted to mentor me so they could get me to join their lame culture. Now in America, maybe 45 of the 50 states are lame. No offense to anybody. But Oklahoma, Minnesota, Alabama, these places are lame. Alaska, they're boring, right? Michigan, for the most part. I mean, big cities, right? Detroit, like Cleveland, is a very boring place when you look at it from the outside at least, and I've been there. Boston seems boring. Massachusetts. Okay. Most places in America are boring. Idaho. Boring. What the hell, right? Nebraska, never bring up Nebraska, boring. And on and on and on. Iowa, Rhode Island, not exactly the place to be. So the vast majority of Americans are very boring people. And so when they try to force you into their culture, they're trying to bore you to death. And the people who are less boring, they tend to be complete idiots, like heavy metal people, freaks, rock and roll, emo, goths, K-pop, you name it, weirdos. Again, I'm not trying to diss everybody, so to speak. I'm trying to clarify this situation here. So when you're the son of God, you're not supposed to follow anyone no matter what. Much less monsters who would persecute the son of God knowing he's not going to follow him just for kicks or on the off chance that he would. That's retarded. These are the type of dumbasses who think that if Judas got 40 pieces of silver instead of 32 or whatever it was, that magically he would have won more or something. No, he still would have been an idiot who would have still hung himself. Smarter than you people because you don't know when to stop. And you don't know not to do it in the first place, neither did he, but you get what I'm saying. They think that if they would have given Jesus, a weird pair of shoes and not just a cape and the crown of thorns, okay, that they would have won something. No. The Son of God wins in all scenarios. If you're dumb enough to clash with them, you are a dumbass. The more you do, the dumber it is. When you're reading through the story, if you're a white person, lots of white people read it like they were hoping that the Romans didn't do more to Jesus. They say they slapped him, the crown of thorns, they spit on whatever they did. It kind of confuses sometimes with what the Jews did, but both groups did something to him in that sort of way. They were hoping they didn't do more because it reflected poorly on them, their families, their race, their Western way of thinking, you name it. Reflected very poorly on it. When you hear Hitler say, that the Jews, and it wasn't just them, killed Jesus, okay, the Jews started complaining. For the most part, historically, they said, no, they said this. They weren't like, we're proud of it. Only, more recently in recent history, some complete idiot, some dumb slut was like, we're proud of it and we do it again. It's a fucking dumbass. But for the most part, most Jews did not want that on their image, their reputation, on their souls, on their spirit, you name it, because it's fucking retarded. And so it is with white people and the Romans. That's why they said they killed Jesus, and they're in denial, white denial, about the fact that the Romans were also instrumental in the murder of Christ as a character in the story. So now when you look in terms of romance, most places are born in America because most people are born. That means the average person and like 99% of people are clearly not romantic. I'm more romantic than everyone else, and 99% of people are clearly not romantic. You see what I'm saying? Clearly. Homer Simpson, Al Bundy, clearly not romantic. Ren and Stimpy, Dumb and Dumber. Siskel and Ebert. Larry Page and Sergey Brin, or whatever their name is from Google, not romantic. Elon Musk, not romantic. Donald, not romantic. King Charles, he's a fairy, not romantic. When I say fairy, I mean, not like a gay person, but like a fairy king. Fairy looking. If you look like a fairy or an elf or a gnome, you're probably not romantic. No offense, but that's the reality of the situation. You look like Zangief from Street Fighter 2, you're probably not romantic. And they looked at me and said, that guy is very, very romantic. And they didn't want me to go to a nice restaurant. They didn't want me to have a nice walk on the beach. They wanted me to be married. They wanted me to have my own place, even though I'm a brain surgeon's son. They wanted to block every avenue. Think about my father's network, my brother's networks. Both of them graduated alumni, University of Michigan. My older brother also went to Pepperdine. They did not want me to have a strong network and a romantic relationship because society's full of boring, jealous idiots, homosexual racists, control freaks, arrogant, rich snobs like English guys on an estate, or however the fuck they would say it. Sometimes they make it harder for me to say it how I could say it because I'd be good at saying some of these accents. Because they're fucking jealous. Because they're petty, wig-wearing, descendants of wig-wearing, jealous people. And that is very key here. So they wanted to send some homosexual, Boy Scout leader, looking mentor my way. Now, some of the people I met in my life were, some of my father's friends are cooler than others, right? Some of the other people I met. I'm not saying every white person is a weirdo or something, but they wanted me to have some kind of mentor that would make me their B word. I'm going to go ahead and say it. That would make me their bitch. That is not allowing me to pursue happiness. Because I'm Jesus, I'm not allowed to pursue happiness. Because I'm Jesus, I'm not allowed to have true love. I'm not allowed to have justice in the court system. That's outrageous. These people believe in a secret government. A secret government run by complex-based idiots versus the Constitution in its true form. Which side are you on? Is a judge in the court system supposed to say, well, let me check with my secret society guys? That's fucking retarded. But that's the system that you people have. And that's why nobody's doing anything about this. It's not my job when I contact law enforcement, to make sure they do their job. They're supposed to do their job, do the investigation, arrest them, set the stage for me to be compensated. They didn't do that because they have a secret government instead of a constitutional government. And that's why a moral monarchy is superior. Your democracy yields Freemasonic pussies who don't give people justice, who don't solve obvious problems like healthcare and homelessness and child hunger. The people who advocate for your system should be flogged to fucking death. And I'm going to personally cook their souls forever. That's how far off you are. Instead of the No Kings protest, you should have No Secret Society bitch protest. No groupie protest. No dumb fucks protest. No immoral dogs who pretend to be moral is what they should be protesting. Pretty straightforward. Now I'm going to end it here because I'm kind of in public here. I don't want to, raise my voice too much. But to make a long story short, it is pure evil to have a secret government. Like Kennedy said, right? Secret oaths, secret meetings, and secret societies and secret proceedings. They're denying me my constitutional rights. And for the dumbest reasons in human history. So if these people really for freedom, justice, and democracy, they would get together to secure me my rights. They would not get together to deny me my rights. And I'm in California. It's not just the right wing and Donald Trump. Countless Democrats organized to deny me my rights. And as such, they denied me compensation because I otherwise would have had to easily make 6 figures. I'm a brilliant person, son of 2 doctors, one a brain surgeon. Scored top 1% on the SSAT to get into a very competitive high school. They kept sabotaging me and persecuting me, covertly drugging me, and it threw me off over the years. I would not have conformed to someone else's system because I serve God alone. In terms of their secret society system, in terms of their unconstitutional this, that, and the other thing. And so, then all these attractive females are gold diggers and they're in cults. And they're racist and they're cultural imperialists to some degree. They're gold diggers and they're in cults and they're racist to some degree. Lots of them are. Not all of them. Depending on how you define racism, I suppose. But lots of them are. And so it comes together between the gold diggers. The people who are racist and gold diggers. People who are gold diggers who aren't racist per se. People who are in secret societies are being told what to do. People in certain groups that say, hey, you can't date him. You work for this corporation. You're in the military. You're in the police. Between all this stuff coming together, you're in a sorority. I end up getting shunned as the son of God. If you think that your culture isn't problematic, you think if your collection of culture, some people say, that's not all of us. All of you are shunning me. If someone was working in the police and working on this case, or in the law enforcement, intelligence community or military, and they're this race or that race, or this religion, that religion, all of them failed. Doesn't matter who they are. Be a Republican, Libertarian, could be a Christian, Muslim, Jew. All of them failed. Because all of your cultures fail when the Son of God comes to test your work. You all fail. All your churches, all your mosques, your synagogues, New Age, atheist, agnostic, all of them. They didn't have the philosophical worth to give the Son of God justice, because their cultures and their philosophies and their mentalities and their lifestyles are garbage. There's no other way to look at it. None. Proof positive, done. Okay, so this is about 20 seconds later. I've calmed down a little bit. I forgot to mention the sexual harassment that I went through. They used technology to harass me in a homosexual way, and they also threw in little things to try to smooth it over, to try to get me to accept their perverted LGBT abuse and their perverted LGBT insistence on me assimilating. You know, they're trying to kind of convert me into being a gay person or a bisexual person, or at least to harass me and abuse me for being straight. That they're xenophobic and they're heterophobic to the extreme. It's the governing class for you. They are psychotic social engineers. They're trying to treat me like a bunch of pirates would treat an attractive virgin on a pirate ship. Okay? They are very sick people. And these people saying fight the hate, part of the reason why they haven't made me gay is because I'm strong-willed and I hate the thought of being forced to be evil or gay or something I wouldn't otherwise be. If I was some hippie or something, I might have gone along with it, right? If I was some turn the other cheek Christian, all these so-called Christians, they went along with it because their interpretation of the Bible allows them to be unrepentant sinners and hypocrites. Mine doesn't. Their interpretation of the Bible allows them to follow countless child molesters. Mine doesn't. Their interpretation of the Bible allows them to be polluted by the world, to find their life in the world, to love the world instead of loving God. Mine doesn't. Allows them to play a spectrum and contrast game while saying, hey, because somebody isn't the worst serial killer in the world, then magically it's not so bad, magically that they're, just somebody just kills someone once a year or something. They're on the spectrum of evil, and they point to what at least seems to be worse evils, and they say, hey, maybe they're doing the right thing. They're not. I was abused sexually with technology last night. Now, a lot of people say, don't talk about this. I'm not going to give up too many details here. Okay, you got to realize I'm somebody who wrote the Martial Code, my book, great short book, couple pages, 3-4 pages, something, great book. I'm somebody who defines the Martial Code. I can tell you with certainty. People who rely on the state and act like they're bad, some rich gay guy, some racist rich gay guy, racist Zionist or some with money, that's some bitch shit. You hire a bunch of people to use technology to harass the top martial artists and act like you're above them, act like you're tough, act like you're bad. That's called being a bitch. You're the bitch, not the person you're trying to victimize. Vir in virtue means man. By making love, virtuous love is making love, is having sex like a man making love, what have you. Erotic desire, that's bitch. Homosexuality, which is a sin. And everyone on YouTube should know for sure that I'm right to say this. These people did not even give me my rights. Gays have lots of power here in California and all over the world, and they came together to harass me and abuse me and to persecute me. They have never effectively proven that in Christianity, that homosexuality magically isn't a sin. And lots of people say it, so I have a right to say that, especially now that I've been fucking abused just last night by these fucking people, by tons of these people, not just one or two. A bunch of them got together, and they have each other's backs, and their code of silence is a pink code of silence to abuse me. I don't single out groups of sinners, for no fucking reason. What they're doing is very wrong. And they've also brought down the Democratic Party to the extreme. They cost them elections with their trannies in sports, their gender-neutral bathrooms, people getting raped in bathrooms by the other sex, and so on and so forth. And their sexual immorality carried over to the teachers who are having sex with these kids. Because sexual immorality breeds sexual immorality. Unless you can come up with a sound, moral, romantic code, people start having all kinds of sick sex. Oh my goodness, I don't want to get into details. You can imagine the sick things they do. There is such a thing as having sex in a way that reflects mental illness. And morally precise love-making, heterosexual and morally precise love-making is not that. That is divine. That is the only way to make love in a way that's divine. Now, keep in mind the vast majority of people are sinners. I don't go heavy metal bashing. I don't go gay bashing any more than I go heavy metal bashing. Okay? I don't target these people and hit them with technology. They target me and hit me with technology. I'm saying something that's been acknowledged as a sin forever and ever in this country and on this planet, in the Christianity, in Islam, in Judaism. Can you then turn around and say, I'm the hateful person? They're persecuting me. I'm not persecuting them. They have no sense of fair play. Because they can't beat me at a debate, they think the answer is to persecute me and try to remotely fucking rape me? That is some sick fucking shit. And shame on all you law enforcement types who aren't shutting this operation down immediately. When the Son of God is being treated this way, you're a fucking coward if you don't immediately shut it down.